Hey guys. Again. Let me talk about Vogu and so what did it do to Ethereum? So I'm going to draw right now as I'm just learning how to use OBS. But what did it do to Ethereum? The Vogu network was kind of insane. And so, again, you think that these things are ready for institutional investment. These things are ready for to replace a lot of how the internet works, and you can start to see limitations of Filecoin or IPFS and its protocol. It's not quite there yet. It's not as easy of a replacement for a server, just a standard server just sitting there. Expensive server. I think we talked about that in general. For Amazon just to hold your movie on their server is $7 a day for them across all their entire library. That gets expensive. And so we'll talk about how what replaces that, and how projects like Filecoin and Akash and even Internet Computer. Someone a fan of Internet Computer yet, but how to replace and supplements delivery for creators is it's just not quite there yet. And let's talk about Vogu. Vogu was an NFT project. It's one of the 10,000, I think there's 7,767, and they weren't totally lucky, and they did get lucky because what they did is they got mentioned by other trades. I was actually watching a live stream with Elliot, and he was just kind of passing through NFT projects that are upcoming, and just kind of scrolling down the list, probably in various tools, and he's just like, oh yeah, Vogu looks cool, and I think that's like mention happens, it becomes a thing, and so it became a thing for me because I saw that's kind of cool. I looked at the project, I did my due diligence before following hard, and I looked at it, it's just okay, it's cool art. I get that. I think it's kind of a unique take, has a crypto-punky feel, and I think that's very on trend with the spirit of what we know in blockchain. And so, what I like what they were doing though is they incorporated it into a narrative, and I think this is so smart because for me, I'm looking at examples and we've been trying to get part of originating content within the blockchain that then goes on to outside sources or traditional distribution, traditional media, because that's what I think the big hit is, because you're connecting directly with fans first. And I think that is huge. In some of the ways that the internet did, some of the ways that some web series went to series and what have you. I think that there certainly is something like that within blockchain, but also even more powerful because of its unique ability to reward those of your fans directly, literally monetarily. You can make your fans filthy freaking rich, and in the process, make yourself, look like a guy who deployed crypto. I don't know if you've seen that guy lately. he's like doing his podcasts from these custom-made SUVs. So doing well by yourself and doing well for your fans, I think is really a great sweet spot, and I think it's something that blockchain can offer. And so it's really investigating yourself for Vogu. Other trades mentions. There's about 2,000 people in the Discord at this point. So I'm looking around and seeing what community is currently, who's leading it. They seem to be quite sophisticated. They've done this before. This isn't their first rodeo. I want to see somebody had mentioned that one of the people had some holes on the block experience. But then immediately, with the other trades we mentioned, as that takes a day or two to sort of turn out people watch it across the world, I got about 4,000 Discord. So I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. I like how they incorporated a narrative into their characters already. And so the narrative is like, there's a spaceship that gets commandeered, and they got damaged, they got augmented, and so you're going to get like these unique things that are they're sort of almost throwaways. They're just like they're not wanted because they're not uniform. And so sort of this rebel vibe about these Vogu little guys with like cameras in their heads. I think cinematic, but for people in movies, it's a natural icon for us. We gravitate a lot towards iconography with camera lenses, etc. So in this little robots, 2 days ago, they tried Mix and on Monday, and I announced it on this channel. And going into it, it was just like, again, very normal. Everyone's like very excited. The FOMO is, I'm going to just shrink my screen down, is very palpable, and you can see that sort of pre-mint buzz, as you would, with any project. And I think that's normal. But what I'm doing here is I'm also coming on and showing you day 2, because in day 1, what happened is they had so much and so many people FOMOing in at this pre-5. They were going to do like a 5 p.m. Launch mint, but they allowed 5 minutes beforehand for people on the Discord to jump in. So at the time, there's about like 7,500 or so people in Discord. Literally everybody was there. And so people were waiting to jump on this, because they knew it would be 5 minutes before, probably released by the Twitter and other social media channels, that they were going to do this. So it puts everybody, who's part of the audience in a good position to get in on this mint. And so people are like, yes, we're in on this mint. We're all just sitting there, and the FOMO is quite high. Everyone's like, this is going to be great. This is going to be so huge. This is going to double, triple. I'm going to make 10x, on the first day. And so everything was going great until they started that mint. They started the mint, and nobody could connect their wallet. And so in my MetaMask, it was just frozen. It would connect, but it wouldn't make the transaction. And so massive freak out. People were losing it. In the Discord, they felt this was a huge rug pull. This is a massive scam. But then somebody started seeing and noticing that Vogu were actually being bought. 1,700 to 1,800 actually were bought in this very short time frame. And it was interesting because going through this process, I learned about something beyond just the minting page, because you create a web page because you want to make it easy for people. You want to drop a link on a web page onto all your socials and say, boom, hey, here's the link, click on it, web page, mint these many, connect your wallet. It's so simple by creating an interface with that your audience can make and mint. But there's a bunch of degens, old school degens out there who know how to mint by contract. This is a huge thing, because it's only those people who knew how to mint by contract that were able to mint that day. And 1,700 of them, probably, I think the max that they're supposed to be able to get was 17. So there's about 100 people, 100 NFTs or blocks maybe, that were able to mint by contract. And we'll get into a little bit of that today. I'm not super comfortable. I'll show you how to do it. I just kind of minted through the website on day 2. But I'll show you kind of the approach of minting by contract, because there's a way to circumvent potential error within the onboarding that comes with minting. And you can create a simple page, but within that simple page, clearly I'm missing errors. And so on day 1, you just had people really super salty because a lot of people had just come from the stoner cats, and that failed. And so they came into this, and then they were over 2 in the day. So people were coming back, and as you can see up here, just a little touch, they were over 9,000. So within a day, they had 1,500 more people find out about the project and onboard the project. And so, pre-launch, it's the typical stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. The gifts and the videos are very positive. There were a couple of salty people from from a previous day that were looking at the way, I think it becomes very gas obsessive. And so the order point at 62 is I'm actually a little behind on that, and so I jumped right in because I was waiting for the 4:55 moments. So you go to the site, the Vogu site, and then you pull up your oh, so here's I have pending requests showing you. Okay, here's the interesting part. So gas fees got a little high. This is I ended up doing 3 months because in the individual website they didn't do a very good job of indicating the number that you could purchase at once with a slider that was very small and hidden at the very top, very thin. So I ended up doing one at a time, and I did 3 minutes. And while you're doing those minutes, what happens is you have the ability to let me show you this. So I'm mincing. You have the ability to speed up. You see that there? And so while you're pending, you have this ability to speed up. So I have 2 queued and 1 pending here. And usually the tough part is you have to get one at a time. So if you have the same gas price, this queued, so this has to clear, then this is cleared next because it's queued behind it. And so it's not like they're 3 independently going. I did discover on VGens that you can assign that one to jump ahead of the queue with the speed up. And so with the speed up, you can see here I have the 3. Here's what I want to show you guys. So when I clicked on it, the gas price, so I'm like, I want to speed it up. And look at the gas prices. So the normal average, is where you usually want to set. Typically, that's like, somewhere if you're into the DeFi world, that's $20 to $80, roughly, depending on the time of day. This isn't even the highest that it got. So, just to give you an example of where I was starting to feel a bit of FOMO because I had my 3 transactions pending and they weren't going ahead, and so I was looking to speed them up ahead of the speed up, which I thought was weird because I thought I had set fast gas on all 3. So it does reveal that you can speed up your transaction additionally throughout the process, even while it's queued. And so that was an important thing. So beyond transacting and minting off contract, you have 631. So it got super high, and so. It looked like it was processing, but you go into this waiting game. One's pending. I tried to speed up one, but that was the thing. Once one's sped up, it doesn't matter. You can't speed up the others until that first one clears. So, hold on 1 second. Battery is my stream stuff is really second out, so it's like Vogu over 175 plus. The VIG on gas is now at this point $500-600, and this is just based on the 175 buy price of one Vogu. Really, people who try to do the full 17, and I'll show you some of their gas. Probably pretty soon. And so I try and show you. Okay, so here's some of the people who were kind of just showing off their gas. And that's no joke. 16,000 gas. Let's just say that person was trending at 17, but it wasn't. It wasn't that. So 700 way. Let's see. I think the nice part is eventually I think I get this quasi confirmation, and so we get into whether we got one or not. And so there's like 30 minutes where you don't know what you have. You don't know if you've got one. You don't know, you don't know how many. I think if your process goes through and you get a success on Etherscan, you're going to understand if you have one. Now, here's the scary part: both Stoner Cats and Vogu broke Etherscan. Etherscan ground to a halt. It was no longer sending data, and it was again a shock that just a handful, a few thousand people within 20 minutes or so of funneling into something created an incredible blockage of. This is what it looks like when you get your your Vogu, because they haven't revealed it yet. And so that's the even crazier part. You have no idea what you have for the next few days. They're just trying to verify that they got them all out, and then once you have it, you begin to look at, well, okay, what does it actually have? And so, yeah, looking at the contract, which can be by Etherscan, is, again, it was a bit disappointing that there's only 400 holders of these. I guess they got like 3 each or so. But you can look at in the contract some of the fundamentals of like the holders, how many holders there are, and I looked at the contract itself. And so you can look, when you're looking within the contract, so what I did there is I connected MetaMask. And so when you're looking at the contract, you can go down into sub areas where you can literally mint via the contract. And here's where it becomes, for me, a bit more challenging, because you have to put, the amount that you're going to pay, but also the number. But in terms of the gas, it becomes a very, less confidence in this way currently. I'll do it on another project or something where the gas isn't $500-600, because that was the thing. I was like, oh, minting by contract, that sounds way cooler, I'm going to do that. And you get to this stage and you're like, it does allow me to set the limitations here. It could be open gas based upon the contract. Based upon the contract, they don't ever want to limit gas. So you could pay as much as just what we saw down below on the previous slide of 16,000. Like, that was pretty scary. Like, in terms of just being somebody dug a piece of art and liked, obviously it's not why the transaction failed. But if the transaction fails, is that all gone? That's a lot of money for you guys. And I'm not banging it that hard yet. This is a very humble office here in the studio lot, but it's still costs money to keep these weird lights behind you on. And so, a lot of realism, starts to hit when you look at the limitations of Ethereum. And, I think everyone's just saying, oh yeah, proof of stake. Proof of stake is yet to be proven super effective on a major platform with this many users. And the rollout is going to take time. I don't want to float on anything, but this just gave me great insight to how ready Ethereum is for prime time. I mean, not to say Bitcoin is, because Bitcoin doesn't have even close to the capacity of platform building that Ethereum does. So it's like it's not a compare with it. It's just we still got some time here. So it's just by these a handful of people, a few thousand people funneling into this thing. You can see that there's a lot of problems within how the mining community is able to execute this type of activity. And again, I respect miners and miners That's where I started this game. And so, it's without their investment into hardware, we're not decentralized. We're not like Bitcoin, we're not blockchain. And so they did well today, or these past couple days. I hope, because they deserve it. They made the investment. But in terms of the throughput and the experience for people, that was brutal, because you had people who were, really just bummed out. They're trying to, let's see, at this point it's 450. So there's a lot of people still, with their Rick and Morty's, talking about how they're able to mint, and that was the surprise for me, was I think I actually minted one. And I don't know how much I paid in the way. I'll be honest, I think my first one actually processed, the other two died. I was able to cancel one, and I want to show you this because this was such a massive cost. It doesn't have it. So you're gonna be given options to cancel, and if you are in the middle of a mint and you don't believe that you are going to be able to mint, you need to try and get out as quick as you can. And I was hearing, which is great, they were doing an AMA, which is an Ask Anything, kind of like having a clubhouse on at the same time as a mint with the creators. And when they were doing this, even the moderators were starting to lose their shit. They're like, dude, Gray, gas is so high, this is way too expensive, I got to get out of this transaction. And you could see that they were literally in panic mode, trying to get out of transactions, the projects that they were already kind of a part of, because A, they were about to get gas fees, or this possibility, gas fee and your transaction, your actual Vogu fee, your NFT fee. So you can lose both. If you let them, some people are saying, oh, let it die by the vine. So there's the option. You can, let it die by the vine. You can see if it transacts, and if it, doesn't, or it's just going to die on the vine. Then there's, oh my gosh, I got to send a transaction to cancel to catch that, to allow it to cancel, and I'm going to pay an additional fee, gas fee, to do that. And so this is such a tough position, because you have now this, you're sitting there, you probably, let's say you did 200 in gas, and you got 200 on the Vogu. You have to then, if you don't think you're going to make it, send money to a transaction to catch up, to cancel the transaction, so that you only lose the gas fee, the transaction fee. So you're going to lose just the 200. So in any case, you're losing a lot. So people were just losing it. I'm not able to pull up my slides. I queued them all up, and I think OBS is just a little overwhelmed with all these. But it was very, very challenging for people who were, in the midst of this, and they could not transact. And so, there's people who were queued up were faced with a scenario of, like, how much money do I now lose? Do I gamble it and try and see if the pending goes on? Do I send a transaction fee after it to cancel it and just lose, the gas fee? So it seemed like a really no-win situation. I did 3, as I said, because I didn't see the button, the slide on top to get just 3. I usually get 3, just to kind of get a variation, and then, like, if I don't like 2 of them, I sell them or whatever. But I like having 3 of these sets, because it gives me a variation, and I can see the rarities involved, and it's funner for me as a collector. So you got the 3. So of these 3, so the first one, we'll just say I got really lucky, and I think I transacted and got one. I don't know yet. It's a day later, and it's like, it's not in my MetaMask. It says it transacted. I can't see it on OpenSea because all it does is have the rocket ship. So it's like I can't see even the rocket ship at this point on OpenSea. The only thing I do have is an Ether stand. My Ether stand says success. Now that said, I had 2 left, and one's a pending, one's a queue. The pending one, I thought was the one that I had sped the gas up on. It was, I wasn't sure. It was very hard to tell, and so the pending one, I don't think I could have canceled. I think I could have canceled both. But the queued one, I knew just didn't have a chance because once it hit a certain point, and I could see that moderators were bugging out. I was like, okay, I need to get out of this. I think at some point somehow. And so, both of the moderators, one was like, I'm gonna let it die on the vine. Let it die on the vine. That's what I do. And the other one was like, no, you need to send a cancel fee and transact and get out of there. Well, it's gonna take both fees. And so I did both. I did one of each just to kind of A/B and test it because I didn't know. I suspected from from previous experience what to do, but I was like, oh, A/B this. What if the pending, because it does give you a promise, and it sucks in that way where a pending one, because my one was pending just before, and it transacted, and so is my second pending going to transact? At a certain point you don't know. I just knew the third one was not, if it's queued, and so I let the pending stay, and I sent a gas fee about 20 minutes after the close. So gas prices went way down, and they were both pending. And so that should let me know in both regards. But so I sent the cancel gas fee to 1, and it just left me with 1. Sorry, I just told you the bird there. Unintentional, and it was just the one that died on the vine. So I sent the gas fee. By that time, it was only $2 to cancel because the gas it just dropped right off as soon as the mint was done. Again, what's going on with it's just a real indicator of the health of the Ethereum system right now. No FUD, but we need to move into the next phase and balance it. It's not quite ready for a lot of people to put their life savings into at this moment. So with my 1 dying on the vine, I just woke up, the next day and it was just like, transaction gone. Vogu, fee gone, and the transaction fee gone. So that was, that was my initial thing, so it was like $200 gone, both fees. And that happened for a lot of people who got in a lot later than I did, so they paid a lot more on gas fees. I think my first couple minutes were immediate, my first 3, and then I sped up 1 to match the gas prices that were rising, just to try and get ahead of the queue because people were doing manual gas. And so with manual gas, you can set your own price, and as you saw, people were able to put a few $1,000s into the transaction side just to make sure that they got one. That's where everyone starts pointing at, and calls found and says, this is just for a bunch of whales, and how is this helping, quote unquote, collectors and fans. That's where it starts to get a bit ugly, because you can see within this system, if you have the money, you have the ability to leverage it. We can talk about manual gas and how to do that. The rule of thumb was, 100 way usually gets you right through. I think I did, I saw the medium way, I think it was 80 or something at the time. And so I thought, that's comfortable for me, okay. Way ended up being around 700 for most of that run during the minutes. And so, these 2 great things I learned from this process. Minting by contract may allow you to get even earlier access to mints. And so I got me comfortable with that. Maybe practicing on some smaller mints might be good because that was the scary part of the gas fee involved in a mint by contract is indeterminable and only set by the contract, which they don't want anything to fail. So somebody comes up 17 at the highest gas prices. They wanted that $16,000 dollar gas fee to go, because somebody is willing to put that money up to get all those Vogus at that time, and they don't really want to limit that. So it's kind of like putting a bit putting something on eBay. You put like, oh, what's the minimum? And you go $100, and then like, what's the maximum? Well, if somebody wants to pay $1 million, fantastic. But as a cracker, that's a bit dangerous. And so into my contract, it seemed to allow you to do the minimum gas, whereas the mints by utilizing your safety net, which to some degree is MetaMask, allows you to set to gas, allows you to manually do these things so you can help better ensure that you have a better chance, and even during the process, which I think has helped me before, just speeding up processes in the midst of nits, so you can help push your bid up the line. So yeah, some very interesting things about what Vogu and Stonecasts taught us, having them both happen the same day, having them both fail on the same day, and then come back the next day, have a lot more problems. I tell you, those discords were just thousands of people just screaming rug pull. I don't think that about either of these projects whatsoever. I do think that they're very clever ways of incorporating narrative into blockchain, and that's what we're here for. It's just unfortunate that the Ethereum network currently isn't quite ready for that yet. I know everyone thinks Matic is going to be the savior, and I know a couple friends are already planning their route through Matic, and I think you have to if you have something popular. Because if you've got a lot of people who want to foment in on this, you have to run it through normal servers. You can't file point IPFS this, and then you have these sort of lessons learned from these projects if you're involved with them, because you can see how each one sort of failed a little differently, and making sure that MetaMask is aware of what's going to go on, making sure that OpenSeas, and there's a lot of controversy with getting pre-approved on OpenSeas, and people like Ashton being able to have complete entree into OpenSea, the red carpet rolled out because of his fame. So there's still some sticking points, but it was a lot of fun. I think I got one Vogu that day. Trying to do this in between work days is insane. And we're doing this early, I know it's crazy. And I usually do this much later in the day, but I just wanted to talk about a couple things because they were so formative, I think, of where we're at with this as a tool for creators. So powerful. So many people, again, at the pre sort of mint stage, there's just so much euphoria about participating in a project that, as creators, is very gratifying. Just after people that don't get in. There's going to be a lot of wounds that creators are going to have to find ways to heal, because not everybody's going to get on that. And there's going to be some anger, a lot of anger, that people weren't able to get in on the project because of money. Straight up, just finances. It's just like dudes came in and were able to put 16 grand like on gas fees. That's mental. But dude, as a creator, that's kind of amazing. You're like, wow, somebody's willing to spend that much money on your art and the world that you've created. And so get out there and create. There's a lot of opportunities right now for us.